Alright, so good evening, everyone. And in this video, basically going over the results from the last game of week one, which is the 49ers versus the Jets. First of all, of course, as always, we're going to go over the stats. Mainly, the 49ers won. They won 32-19. So I got the prediction right. And yeah, no, basically, we should be going over the stats as a whole. We're just kind of looking to see what happened and what didn't happen. First thing of note, Aaron Rodgers' return game. 13 for 21, 167 yards, a touchdown, interception. Not bad coming off an injury like he did and being as old as he is. Really not a bad stat line for him. Like if he can play like that for the rest of the year, of course yeah, obviously better than this, but if this is the worst we're gonna get of Aaron Rodgers this year, I think he would actually do pretty well for the Jets really. And Tyrod Taylor, he actually was again the backup quarterback, and he actually did well. He went 6 for 8 and scored a touchdown. That was pretty good. I thought that was pretty good. In terms of rushing, not really much of a rushing presence. It was mainly just Breece Hall that had 54 yards and one touchdown. For receiving, Alan Lazard was the main leader of that. He went 6 receptions for 89 yards and 2 touchdowns. Garrett Wilson had a pretty solid game with 6 receptions for 60 yards. However, he did get targeted 11 times. So it was kind of he was really getting covered out there really as much. Breece Hall lost a fumble to Fred Warner forced it. So he lost it to him. Really nice side. We'll talk about when we actually get the play-by-plays. And no interceptions. And overall, stats wise on the defense, there's not really much of note here. There's not really a lot that really could be said here. Overall, on that, pretty solid stat lines from the Jets. Pretty much the only thing I would kind of say is they catch me off guard is how little rushing yards Breece Hall had compared to the other running backs this week. However, is they are playing against the 49ers, so it's that's kind of him just getting 4 yards alone and a touchdown is still kind of impressive given that. And speaking of 49ers, Brock Purdy, 19 for 29 with 231 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. That was I'm not surprised he has a stat line. However, it's I would at least expect something from him. You know what I mean? At least coming back from the way he ended last year. I at least expected something out of him, a touchdown at least. In terms of stats, it was mainly the rushing that did. Jordan Mason, 28 carries for 174 yards and a touchdown is insane. Christian McCaffrey was ruled out, and the media behind it is saying Jordan Mason basically is snitch, saying that he knew about it. He was gonna start on this Friday. However, I think it's just I think it's a situation of personal bias and not actually what he's told. What I feel he was told is, hey, there's a likelihood that Christian McCaffrey is going to be out. Be prepared to start. And it wasn't until an hour before the game is when it was oh, hey, Jordan Mason, you get to start. I think it's more of that situation. Not necessarily oh, Jordan Mason, you're going to start for us and we know about this since Friday. No, I think it's generally just kind of a thing where it's I think he let his own bias and his own perception of the situation come out. And I don't think he's gonna get in trouble for it. I think it's gonna be more of a behind closed doors slap on the wrist kind of. But yeah, no, overall really good game from him. Honestly, really good game from him. Deebo Samuel did pretty good in the running and receiving department. He had eight carries, 5 receptions for 77 yards and a rushing touchdown, which I thought that was pretty good for him. Pretty good. Brock Purdy had a nice little carry for 11 yards, and Brendan Allen basically just got smushed. Shawan Jennings led this team in receiving with 64 yards for perfect target to reception ratio, which I thought that was pretty good. Kyle Drusek, 2 receptions for 40 yards. Surprised they didn't really use him in the run. I'm generally a little surprised. George Kittle went 4 receptions for 40 yards, which again, just based upon the way the 49ers scheme is, I get it. George Kittle is not gonna have these big yard games. However, it's just kind of we kind of at least expect you to at least get some more than 40 yards, like that sort of thing. And Brandon Ayuk, 5 targets for 2 receptions and 28 yards. Honestly, a little disappointed by that stat line. However, he basically was like holding himself out the entirety of like preseason. So again, not really surprised that was kind of like the results you kind of get with that. Generally not surprised. Fred Warner with the forced fumble. Demetrius Flanagan fouls with an interception too on Rodgers, which I thought was pretty good. Pretty decently like good interception. And overall, like stats are honestly pretty good. Surprised that. Well, no, wait, no. Nick Bosa's playing against a white quarterback. He wouldn't be able to sack him like that. However, like when Tyrod Taylor got out, I'm surprised that whenever Nick Bosa was in game, he didn't just absolutely just went like insane and went crazy with it. Jake Moody with 6 field goals. Honestly, like that again is like very surprising to me. The fact that he got that many field goals, like that was honestly pretty wild. They scored like 20 points. And overall, in terms of like the returns, yeah, no, like pretty good. Honestly, I would just kind of say, just based upon like this sort of like thing, is I feel like Christian McCaffrey's injury. I think it was more of like he's just gonna be out for like this game. I don't know about next game. I think he will be back. But however, when he's back, like if this is gonna be like a crippling of like their offense, and you're getting 28 carries for 174 yards and a touchdown by Jordan Mason, like I call that a win. Really, I really call that a win. That's kind of my take for it. And then for the Jets, yeah, no, if this is like Rodgers' worst game, then it's like I honestly expect them to do pretty well. And that's honestly it for like the stats and portion of it. Now we go on to the play-by-plays. Okay, so nice little run by Brees Hall to start the game, multiple runs, and then basically just an Aaron Rodgers just kind of like passed it, kind of just like short, kind of like was like short. Tyler Lazard, and then they decided to punt it because it was just like they didn't really have much to do with the ball then in that situation. And then 49ers just came by and decided to punt. Like, that's kind of like all they really had to do, really. And then the fumble. Basically, they just kind of just like, he just kind of passed it, just like, Fred Warner basically just kind of like just did it. He just absolutely just kind of like laid it into him and basically just like, he just kind of just went and just get it. He just said like, nah, I'm taking that ball. And he got the fumble. However, they kind of took the fumble and didn't really do much with it except just like, oh, hey, we're going to get this very nice field goal. One of many field goals this game. And then Brees Hall basically just kind of like ran it in for the touchdown, basically. A lot of like good passes from like Rodgers, basically to like mainly Garrett Wilson at this point. And a last little one to like Brees Hall. And then basically just like Brees Hall basically just kind of like just went and just like just did it himself and just kind of like ran it in at like the end of that play. Nice little long drive, that sort of stuff. Had defense out there. Field goal from the 49ers to start this quarter off. Yeah, no, basically just kind of just a lot of just like decent solid plays, big plays. Took a sack and also just like had a legal like formation, but that penalty got declined. Another sack. So yeah, no, basically it was like that was kind of like it was kind of like a field goal where it's like they kind of got it just based off of like they kind of just like messed it up really. They messed up the setup. And then this was honestly a really, really good defensive drive. It was basically just like they basically just stopped them. Like they had like passing complete. Brees Hall basically took it off 5 yards. However, Rodgers basically got sacked, which brought him back 5 yards and basically just kind of like reset the entire like setup of the play, which then led to the first touchdown. First touchdown? Yeah, no, the first touchdown from the 49ers. Bless you. I'll bless myself. I know none of y'all are going to do it because y'all are fake sometimes. But like, no, yeah. So basically, first touchdown for the game by the 49ers. Did pretty well. Very, like, this play was honestly just something where it was kind of like a Like, are you kidding me? Like, made that mistake right there for like a penalty. But however, they kind of brought back with a Juwan Jennings, very good pass. And then just kind of just like took the run. They got a holding, which was enforced, which would have been like Debo's like no, it would have been like Mason's touchdown. However, it basically got snagged by Debo later on. So that was that play. And this is kind of the point where they were kind of like running away for it because then it kind of went to like another punt, where again it was basically just kind of like they held them up, they stopped the pass, and then basically just all I had to do was kick it, and then just they basically just kind of like marched the ball down the field, two back-to-back good passes to Samuels and Jennings, and then just like they couldn't really get much afterward, and then just boom, kick it. But I forgot. I also kind of started off with like this a nice little like deep ball to Kittle, and then just end of the half. Immediately, 49ers started the game off, took a nice long drive, and basically brought it up for a touchdown. Basically just like this kind of like where it kind of like started with like Debo getting the first down, and then from there just kind of just like again, Steelers just like march. They could like a false start. However, it's just like the immediate answer with a 34-yard pass to Jusic. He just tried running up. However, he got tackled for loss, and then just boom, he got up for 5, and they got the extra point. And then at this point, it just kind of became like they were kind of just like running away with it because Rodgers threw this interception at like their 46. However, they also did got an unnecessary roughness call, so it kind of like pushed them back a little further than what they would have wanted. So basically, just kind of like resulted in just like nice run by Mason, another run by Mason, an incomplete pass. They took a penalty that was on the Jets because for illegal use of hands, and then basically just brought him up, got him up another 5 yards, and then just they couldn't really do much afterwards. So then boom, kick it, 53 yards. It was pretty nice. Then Rodgers kind of got a touchdown to kind of like end like the half basically, and no, end the quarter. He tried doing a 2-point conversion at the end of this play by Breece Hall. However, he kind of got stopped by the middle. However, he also did have this Aaron Rodgers had this nice play to like Lazard for 26 yards. Thought that was pretty good. It's kind of what started up the play with them. And then the fourth quarter, field goal, which was pretty good. And then they had a turnover on downs, which was Rodgers had 2 back-to-back passes, and then they're just like, we're gonna try on one, and then they just couldn't do it. And then we had like another field goal to kind of like seal the game up. 24 run by Mason, another run by Mason, another run by Mason. Purdy got sacked, and then just field goal. Just kind of like secure it up. And then basically just kind of marched back with a touchdown. However, it was one of the situations where there was just simply nothing they can do. They can play as well as they want. However, like they just simply weren't gonna like win it. And then the touchdown play was Tyrod Taylor, just a short little pass to Lazard for 3 yards, and then they tried doing the 2-point conversion with a pass. However, it fell incomplete. And then just in the fourth quarter, basically they just kind of just took the knee. And yeah, that's basically it for basically like Monday Night Football in this week 1 of the NFL. Overall, all the games are pretty good actually. All of them are pretty good. Good start. Saw a lot of like good things to kind of come from this year, and honestly, I would be more than happy to basically cover this. So yeah, that's it for this video. Hope you guys like and subscribe and enjoy for more content. Later, everyone.